ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतस्य सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद। ये द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे। Okay. Thank you all for joining. Sorry for the last minute message. Um, so I keep hearing this devotees always chanting Prabhupada Pranam Mantra wrongly. Hmm. So every now and then I'll keep repeating this message. So it is not Saraswati Devi. It is not Saraswati. It is not Saraswati Devi. It is not Saraswati Deve. It is Saraswati Deve. Right. So please see the. Let me share. Prabhupada Pranam. I'm sharing from some site. Okay. So here, see. Namaste. Actually, they don't have diacritics. It is okay. So I have to find something with diacritics. Hmm. Okay, English, Hindi is easy. Saraswati. Hmm. Should be in Bhagavad Gita. No. Hmm. Yeah. But this is Saraswati. Saraswati Devi. This is how it has to be pronounced. It's not Saraswati Devi. It's not Saraswati Deve. It is Saraswati Devi. And it actually means belonging to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So it is Saraswati. So every time devotees make mistake. Actually, the this pranam mantra is actually what should you say? It is like Google location. I mean, it's actually identifying who the person is. So if we in Sanskrit there is certain meaning. So if we say Namaste Saraswati Devi, then we are actually doing offering obeisance to Saraswati Devi. If you do Saraswati Devi, then it is actually wrong because Saraswati is feminine, Deve is masculine. It is a masculine form in Sanskrit. The actual correct form is Saraswate Deve. So we should remember this. We should not chant this wrongly. Namaste Saraswate Deve. Okay. Mm, share. So we had just finished, just to recap where we were. So we went through the beautiful description of the form of the Lord. The Lord is eternally very beautiful. Mm. And whoever had come to Mayapur, they can vouch for this. Lord is very beautiful eternally and is worshipable by all inhabitants of every planet. In fact, in Bhumandala, um, so there are different varshas. In each varsha, Lord is worshipped in different forms. Mm, so even in Bharatavarsha, like so there's no place in Lord's creation where the Lord is not worshipped. So only the really unfortunate jivas don't come to worship the Lord. So it is our duty to bring everybody to the worship of Krishna. So we have to distribute books, we have to preach, etc. Okay. Anyway, so we'll continue from here 328:18. Kirtanya tirtha yashasam punyashloka yashaskaram dhyaye devam samagrangam yavanna chavate manaha. The glory of the Lord is always worth singing, for his glories enhance the glories of his devotees. One should therefore meditate upon the Supreme Person of Godhead and upon his devotees. One should meditate on the eternal form of the Lord until the mind becomes fixed. This is okay. So let me explain this. So one should meditate upon the Supreme Person of Godhead and also upon his devotees. So this is very, very important. Mm. One has to fix his mind on the Supreme Person of Godhead constantly. Constantly. Mm. So many devotees keep asking this question, how constantly? Again, we get the answer when we go to yatra. Right? When we go to a yatra, our mind is constantly fixed on the Supreme Person of Godhead. How is it constantly fixed? It's not that we are just remembering constantly the form of the Lord, but anything and everything that we do in the Dham, we will be or should be connected to devotional service, and thereby our mind is constantly fixed in the Supreme Lord. Right? Either we are chanting his name, we are seeing his form, we are talking to his devotees, we are hearing Krishna Katha, we are doing Kirtan, we are walking in the Dham, we are honoring Krishna Prasad. Whatever we do, it's simply fixing our mind on the Supreme Lord. So now those devotees who had come to the Dham, you can tell. Now, is it difficult to fix our mind constantly on the Supreme Lord? Because when we are in our own world, it becomes very difficult. Hmm. But those devotees, many devotees here, not many, few devotees here came. Hmm. Three devotees came, right? Yeah, three devotees came to the Dham, at least this time. So can you tell how easy or difficult it was to fix your mind on the Supreme Lord constantly? Hmm? Sarna Prabhu, Vamshi Prabhu, Shruti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, in Dham, it was very easy, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Uh, we could constantly be in touch with God through different means. Like we were hearing Katha or Kirtan or going to Darshan. So it was very easy.
yeah.
But
No,
once we came
no,
back
but, no, but, no, but, no, till then only. The answer should stop there, right? So, see, the
yes,
point we have to understand is it is easy to fix. No, obviously, the next question is why can't I continue to do that in Bangalore? Mm. So, this is the whole idea of Shravanam. The whole idea of Shravanam is to actually come to this state, right? So, which is why uh, we have to try to replicate the life of the dham, life in the dham, except for the potency of the dham itself, as in the place, right, which we cannot replicate here. But mentally, we can remain in the dham. Mm. Whatever we are doing, when we do, for example, we are honoring prasadam. We are honoring prasadam there also, we are honoring prasadam here also. Matajis are cooking bhoga, right? So, then somebody is going to work, we should understand that I'm working for Krishna. Now, for example, you might say, yeah, I'm working for Krishna, but when I'm actually directly working for Krishna, I only deal with devotees. No, not true. For example, suppose say somebody is involved in doing some construction work. He is absolutely engaged with non-devotees. So when we work for Krishna, now when we are preaching, we are engaging with non-devotees. When we are getting flowers for the Lord, we are engaging with non-devotees. So it's not like we have to be constantly engaged with devotees only. We have to be engaged. We might be engaged with non-devotees, but we have to give them association. Yesterday we were in the airport to we had gone to see of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj in the airport, and then I was speaking to Guru Bhakta Prabhu. So they couldn't park their cars, so they were parking somewhere. Some security guy came, and Guru Bhakta Prabhu took that opportunity to preach to him. Right now, I'm just saying, there's an example. Just we are engaging with non-devotees, right? But our consciousness has to be in Krishna. So we are dealing with non-devotees, but we should always remember, why am I working? Why am I doing all this? This is to please Krishna. This is to just please Krishna because Krishna, yeah, I have a Krishna conscious family. I have a family of devotees. I have to take care of them nicely and give them Krishna consciousness. So as part of that responsibility, I'm doing this. Now, many a times devotees want to do only this kind of service they want to do. They like to do. Prabhu, I just like to do kirtan. Now, don't tell me to wash vessels. No, well, we should be ready to do anything for Krishna. So this is also one of those anything. Yeah, right? Like working, yeah, it's not very pleasurable, maybe, right? But after, especially after we go out to the dham and come back, it's absolutely not pleasurable for people who have to go back to their work. But we should remember saying that this I'm doing just as a service to Krishna. So we can remain. It requires a little bit attention, effort, mm, and then we can actually remain fixed in Krishna. So, for example, one of the things I constantly try to do is to see everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. In the sense, when I'm interacting with somebody, say I'm irritated by what somebody is saying, which I normally get irritated if people are too materialistic. But then immediately I remember saying that, see, okay, this is one jiva, part and parcel of Krishna, far away from Krishna. Uh, so why am I getting irritated? I should show compassion. So constantly we can always keep thinking of everything in connection with Krishna, right? So if we are doing that, we can fix our mind constantly on Krishna. Actually, the other day, Maharaj in temple, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj in the temple, he was giving a class and he said, how do we remain steady and survive in Krishna consciousness? Actually, the core point of his lecture was to keep material life simple and steady. Simple and steady, right? So steady because if we want, if you are too ambitious, then your material life will not be steady. It will become unsteady. If material life becomes unsteady, bhakti becomes unsteady. Simple correlation. It was a very powerful. I don't know how many devotees actually got very, very deep rooted connection. We are all struggling today because our material lives are not steady. If our material life is steady, then we get used to it. And you say, okay, this is what it is. Okay, I'm working like this. Okay, this is for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. And then mind is not disturbed, distracted. Then we can fix our mind on Krishna constant. Anyway, so the point is that Dham consciousness has to be replicated in the city. We cannot run away from the city and say, I'm going to run to the Dham. Yeah, that is like Prabhupada said, after all preaching, everything is done. I can't do anything more in service of Guru and Krishna. Then I will go to the Dham and chant Hare Krishna all the time. But till then, we are going to live somewhere in the midst of non-devotees, and we'll have to work to take care of our family till whatever time. Till then, we should do everything that we are doing, uh, thinking of it for Krishna. When we do that, our mind is fixed in Krishna. When one is accustomed to thinking of one of the innumerable forms of the Lord, Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Narayana, etc., he has reached the perfection of yoga. Now, this is thinking of the form of the Lord. So, this is a very high, uh, stand level of bhakti, where we are in dhyana. We are thinking about the form of the Lord. We are thinking about the pastimes of the Lord. We are thinking about the qualities of the Lord, etc. This will happen only after, like I said, if when our mind becomes zero with respect to material thoughts, only then this can happen. Mm. Until we are feeding material things into our mind, And inevitably, we keep saying that, oh, it is inevitable that I have to think about these things. No, it's not inevitable. We have to come to accepting this fact, saying that no, no, it's not required that I keep thinking about material things all my life. Uh, Example, dham, right? Example, I'm just giving that for everybody to understand, saying that it is possible. But we have to decide to withdraw from material things when the time comes, not prematurely. Hmm. Then we can think about the form of the Lord, not before, not before. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. A person who has developed pure love for the Lord and whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of transcendental loving exchange always sees within the heart the Supreme Person of God. Right? This is, like I said, a very, very exalted state. Very exalted state. In the heart. So this devotee who's loving Krishna, he is not seeing Paramatma in his heart. He's seeing what? The devotees especially see the Lord in the beautiful blackish form of Shamasundara. Prabhupada is a devotee, is Krishna's devotee. So he's not talking about Rama, Narasimha, Vishnu. Though here Prabhupada is saying, okay, any of these. But here he says he is not saying, uh, he didn't say, see the Lord in the beautiful form of Shamasundara, or see the Lord in the beautiful form of four-handed Vishnu form, or greenish blue Rama. He's not saying that. He is a devotee of Krishna. So he's saying this because, yeah, inclusive, everybody, different devotees, types of devotees are there. But this is Krishna's devotee speaking. Especially, see the beautiful blackish form of Shamasundara. Of course, we should understand this blackish in Shastra actually is that Atasi color only. It's just sometimes it says bluish, sometimes blackish, but it's the same color. That is the perfection of yoga. This yoga system should be continued until the mind does not vacillate for a moment. See, this is our goal of Bhakti Yoga. Until the mind does not vacillate for a moment. And like I said, it's not just remembering the form. It's even engaging in service for Krishna is not vacillating. Meaning just engaging ourselves through body or mind in the service of the Lord means that we are fixed in the Lord. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashanti Surayah. Form Vishnu is the highest individuality and is always visible to sages and saintly persons. The same purpose is served when a devotee worships the form of the Lord in the temple. See, the same purpose, which is fixing the mind on the Lord, is served when a devotee worships the form of the Lord in the temple. There is no difference between the devotional service in the temple and the meditation on the form of the Lord. Since the form of the Lord is the same whether he appears within the mind or in some concrete element. So this is very, very important. There are 8 kinds of forms recommended for the devotees to see. Forms may be made out of sand, clay, wood, or stone. They may be contemplated within the mind or made of jewels, metal, or painted colors. So, 8: sand, clay, wood, or stone, mind, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Jewels, metal, painted colors. But all the forms are of the same value. It is not that one who meditates on the form within the mind sees differently from one who worships the form in the temple. Supreme Person of Godhead is absolute, and thus there is therefore no difference between the two. The impersonalists who desire to disregard the eternal form of the Lord imagine some round figure, some round figure. They especially prefer the Omkara, which also has form. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that Omkara is the letter form of the Lord. Similarly, there are statue forms and painting forms of the Lord. So, Lord can manifest in any form he desires. The Lord also manifests as Omkara, the letter form, but he also manifests as statue forms, painting forms, or mental form of in the mind. All of them are non-different. So, which is why Bhagavata Vidhi and Pancharatrika Vidhi. eh, In Bhagavata Vidhi, the process of Shravanam, through Shravanam, not only devotees end up with the mental worship. Hmm. And of course, Pancharatrika Vidhi will also aid further the mental dhyana, because ultimately we have to manmanam bhavan bhaktu. We have to fix our mind on the form of the Lord, pastimes, etc., etc. Eventually, and all that happens naturally by the process of chanting. So this dhyana, what we are talking about here, thinking about the form of the Lord, it should happen naturally as a result of chanting Hare Krishna. It will happen. Huh? So that is why for us the recommended process, Prabhupada said, majority of our progress will depend on our chanting and good quality chanting. Another significant word in this verse is Punya Shloka Yashaskaram. The devotee is called Punya Shloka as one becomes purified by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Mm. So one can become purified simply by chanting the name of a holy devotee. Mm. The pure devotee of the Lord and the Lord himself are non-different. It is sometimes feasible to chant the name of a holy devotee. This is a very sanctified process. Lord Chaitanya was once chanting the holy names of the gopis when his students criticized him. Why are you chanting the names of the gopis? Why not Krishna? Lord Chaitanya was irritated by the criticism. And so there was some misunderstanding between him and his students. He wanted to chastise them for desiring to instruct him on the transcendental process of chanting. Anyway, so the point is, chanting the name of the Lord, chanting the name of a devotee of the Lord are not different. So when we are shouting at the top of voice, Jai Srila Prabhupada, non-different from chanting Krishna's names. Mm, Clearly, Prabhupada is saying this. So if one becomes attached to a devotee of the Lord, then his life will become perfect. Mm. So this whole process of actually, see, we should understand, whole process of initiation is to actually enable this for a devotee. Otherwise, if he can just become super attached to Srila Prabhupada, that's enough. Because anyway, for chanting Hare Krishna, we don't need initiation technically. Because we're already chanting Hare Krishna, no? Even before we got initiated. Uh, but the whole idea is two pronged. One is to develop attachment to Guru. Second is because we'll be stuck with various uh, things, various stages in our life. Guru will help us pull us out through his instructions. Uh, Mercy of Guru means instructions, following instructions of Guru. And there's no magic. Prabhupada didn't do any magic to help his devotees make progress. The only magic was engaging them all the time in Krishna consciousness. Very, uh, in his presence, it was very, very different. Hmm. So we have to develop that attachment to a pure devotee of the Lord, and we can then also chant his name, uh, mm, chant the holy name of the Lord. The beauty of the Lord is that the devotees who are connected with his activities are also glorified. Arjuna, Prahlada, Janak Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, and many other devotees were not even in the renounced order of life, but were householders. Some of them, such as Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, were born of demoniac families. Prahlad Maharaj's father was a demon. Bali Maharaj was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. But still, they become famous because of their association with the Lord. Anyone who is eternally associated with the Lord is glorified with the Lord. Because when we are chanting the glories of the Lord, inevitably the devotees are present there. His dear devotees are present. So automatically they are also glorified. The conclusion is that a perfect yogi should always be accustomed to seeing the form of the Lord, and unless the mind is fixed in that way, he should continue practicing yoga. So manmana bhava madbhakto. This is the whole idea. Mm. This now they are saying you meditate on the form, um, and then the mind becomes fixed. Uh, Actually, in our process is we meditate on the sound incarnation of the Lord, who is non-different from the Lord, and then automatically the name comes, then qualities come, then pastimes come, paraphernalia come, etc. One by one. Mm. Uh, but the important point is that the mind has to be fixed. Mind has to become fixed. Okay, any questions? Any thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, one question. So here it's mentioned that if we are meditating or even doing a deity worship in temple is all the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, so my understanding is if we are meditating in one part of the place, w- there is no I would say thoughts about anything else. But
Uh-huh.
when we are doing the same thing in temple, there are chances for certain deviations or certain connection to material, this thing, Prabhu,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
or is that the same?
No, I mean, we inside the temple. Temple is Vaikuntha. So our consciousness should be that as soon as we enter Vaikuntha, we are cut off from material things. That's how our consciousness should be. So, in fact, there's no difference. And for most devotees, it is difficult to meditate in the mind. It is easy to see the form of the Lord and become absorbed, right? So, meditation is a very high. That is why it is Shravanam Kirtanam, then Smaranam. Smaranam, remembrance of the Lord, is a difficult process because the mind will get distracted very easily when we are thinking about the Lord. But when we are seeing the form of the Lord, like we all had experience, no? When you're seeing Radha Madhav, our mind doesn't go here and there,
Right. Yeah.
right? So always because we are used to material forms,
Hmm.
right? Material forms meaning forms made of some material element. The Lord is merciful. He's taking up the form of a he's accepting this form of a metal or whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
So that we can meditate, we can concentrate on his form. And then as we make progress, then we don't have to be in the temple. Automatically, when we chant Hare Krishna, that same form comes in our mind. Hmm.
Hmm.
Those same pastimes that we are hearing, reading from Krishna book, Srimad Bhagavatam, come in the mind. Uh, but that requires little more sadhana.
Understood, Prabhu.
But
Okay.
going and seeing the Lord in the temple is very easy, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is
Correct.
why Pancharatriki Vidhi is required for many.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
there are some very advanced devotees who can just by Bhagavata Vidhi only. Like for example, this kind of description that we read about Lord Vishnu's form, they can just simply meditate on this description and visualize the form of the Lord, and they can remain fixed in that. But for most of us, it is very difficult, this meditation, fixing our mind on a description of the form of the Lord. So it's easier for us to see the form of the Lord, and then maybe try to remember it at different times.
Got it. Okay, Prabhu. And the
Hare,
second one was, yeah, Prabhu. Go ahead.
No,
no, no,
complete,
no, please
complete.
go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. And the second one was, Prabhu, it's not a question, but I was just thinking aloud, that generally when we are thinking of something
Hmm.
a lot,
Hmm.
it also comes in dreams.
Yeah.
Right. So uh, maybe that is one of the way I'm just trying to think aloud, that how we can constantly be meditating on, whether are we meditating or no, can be gauged even through. I'm thinking that maybe if we are able to see all of this, or if we are able to remember all of this in our dreams, then maybe it is
Hmm.
it is kind of, I'm getting purified is what I think.
That
Is
is
that
a super exalted state where
okay?
devotees are 24 hours just thinking of the Lord, whether they are in sleep, whether they
Hmm,
are
hmm.
in whether they are alert, as in Jagrati, whether they are are in whether they are active with the world around them, whether they are in sleep, they
Got it.
can continue to think about the Lord.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
those devotees don't go into deep sleep like Sushupti. They don't go into deep sleep like us, which is like in the mode of ignorance, because their
Mhm. Okay.
consciousness is always in Krishna.
Understood.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
what Srila Prabhupada demonstrated multiple times. Arjuna's hair, uh, and there's sound of Krishna coming from the hair. Right. So like this, I mean, these devotees are all exalted. Yeah.
Right.
So what happens to us is when we have like a super dose of yatra or kirtan,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
it'll keep resounding in our mind, even when we are sleeping, which is very good. which is very good. That means that we got absorbed, we got ourselves absorbed in that service, in that,
Right.
and so that is remaining. So see, these things actually help us understand the ultimate state of perfection, right? And this will be how, this is how devotees will be when in the perfect state. That not even for a moment, whether they're, active or sleeping, they're always thinking about Krishna all the time. We're just
Right.
showing that this is possible. That's why I encourage a lot of devotees to come for yatra, especially practicing devotees, because all these things which seem so impossible for us, when we hear, when we read in the book, seems so easy to do, right? And we experience all these things. So then we should understand, okay, this is possible. So I have to just put some effort to make my life, mold my life in such a way that this actually becomes possible more often. So first it will be yatra once a year, second it will be yatra twice a year, third it might be, more deeper. Like maybe we might not go more times, but we'll engage in some very deep shravanam or kirtanam, like, things like this, so that we can keep increasing the intensity of our absorption in Krishna.
Right, Prabhu. I think you rightly said, because a lot of things after Yatra, I feel like it is doable. At
Hmm.
least my mind frame is in that particular zone at this moment. That's
Hmm.
one. And probably this dreams bit, why I asked was, uh, there were certain, dreams where I was feeling like doing sadhana, or uh, doing, like, being with the association of devotees, probably just after yatra. So
Hmm.
I think it helped me reflect better. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Hare
sure.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Just a question, like in regards to Maharaj's class, no, Prabhuji, and now just as you mentioned, like what exactly do when we have to understand when we say material stability? See the inflation going when your people are working, uh, they want to rise, they want promotions, the family increases. I mean, it is just is do we understand that we don't have to endeavor for more, or not be just conscious of being working, or is it like your or how do you understand?
Yeah, I mean, basically, see, we should, this one, um, see, in Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is also our general understanding of, karma, right? A general understanding of karma is that these things are predetermined. They're
Yes,
actually
sir.
predetermined, right? But unfortunately, how much ever we hear this, somehow we are still thinking that it's in my hand, right? And we are, all our Shastra says this, don't over endeavor, don't over endeavor, don't over endeavor, right? But somehow, unfortunately, we don't seem to be understanding the importance of that. And Maharaj just connected this, the importance of this, saying that, see, the more you are going to run behind material success, and the more your life will be unsteady. And the
Yes,
more your life is unsteady, the more your bhakti will remain unsteady. And it is a fact. I mean, whether we like it or not, our material life is predetermined, right? Unless at some by some special arrangement, Krishna wants to do something different with our material life, right? But the basic point is that we are working sincerely, and whatever we get, we should be happy with it. And unfortunately, this lack of this material satisfaction results in us not being satisfied spiritually, not being, able to focus on our sadhana, etc. Because we're just we're just always thinking about material welfare, improving our material condition. But how much ever we try, how much ever we think about it, it's not that it's just going to happen just by us thinking or even putting in the effort, right? And that all of us we have seen in our lives, right? At least that was the first experience I had, when I came into Krishna consciousness, that my super efforts did not result in any result the way I expected. And then I
yes.
was thinking, no, no, I'm so capable. Krishna has given me so much intelligence. Why did I fail? Why didn't I succeed the way I wanted to succeed? And that was actually the trigger point for me to come into Krishna consciousness, understanding, oh, life works different in a different way. It's not that we're going to get everything that we want. And this reality, if we don't understand, see, nobody is saying don't do your duty. Nobody is saying become lazy. Nobody is saying, like, just give up your work or, do a shoddy work. No, do your work properly. I mean, and this has been my life's experience as well. So, which is why for me it's very, very easy to relate, right? Because this is exactly the mood in which I worked, right? I worked, I put my effort. In fact, without me asking for it, I got promotions, my earnings increased, everything increased. But my Krishna consciousness did not decrease. My Krishna consciousness also increased. So, this is absolutely possible for us to achieve what he is saying. Just steadiness means we should be ready to accept whatever is coming, whatever Krishna is giving us, and not be over ambitious about material things. Yeah, there is inflation, etc. And any inflation in general, salary hikes generally are at least, if not fully in line with inflation, at least partly in line with inflation, at least for people who work in corporate, right? So the point is that either way, we tend to forget when we think about all these very, very practical kind of things, right? We tend to forget that Krishna is in control. The whole point is that we do our duty, depend on Krishna. And this is what actually even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. He tells Arjuna saying, in case you live your life forgetting me means what? It's not like, oh, I'm just chanting Hare Krishna, then I have to still take care of my own self. Krishna is not going to take care of me. No, that's not Krishna consciousness. Rakshishyati iti vishwaso. Have faith that Krishna is going to take care, but do your duty. So Krishna is saying, remember me and do your duty. Remember me. Don't get worked up. Remember me. I'm there. I will take care of things. You don't worry. You do your duty.
Yes, Prabhu, I understand this because I go through a lot of, I've seen this quite practically in my life. Like you could put in the same endeavor, you could be doing the same business, but then everybody is not like Prabhupada mentioned one of his purpose. Like if everybody put in the same thing and if the results were the same, then everybody would be at the same
Yeah,
welfare.
everybody would have become a millionaire.
Yeah,
Huh?
he makes this statement just in the, I think in the same second chapter of what we are
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
But Prabhu, like see, I think at home, like when there is up and rise in business, uncle is very very stable. My elder son, he's hyper, like he wants the jump. My younger son, he says no, whatever is destined will come. So I mean, the treatment, it's a three-way process. I see this, I feel it. But material life also, Prabhu, money, today's world, money becomes so important. Like the stability of material life is also very difficult. I mean,
Yeah, so steady.
whenever I see you, I mean, hats off to you. Like, but it's very, very difficult. It is difficult.
But it's not that I don't have money. I have money. I'm telling,
Yeah, no,
right?
of course, there must
Right.
be enough to
So
keep
it's
your
not,
to keep
no,
your sleep.
there is
No, I
enough.
understand, Prabhu. Like
Right.
you must be having enough to keep your eyes sleep. That's not my point. My point is when we are in the rat race, to come out of it is very, very difficult. Donkey
Which
race.
is true, because see, for which is why, in my classes, I keep saying, we have to decide whether we want Krishna or this material world,
Yeah,
right?
question. Yeah, satisfaction. The question of satisfaction.
But it's actually more than the question of satisfaction. It is about what we want. If we want
Probably want
Krishna,
to.
no, we have to have only one
Yes,
answer to this, right?
yes,
See,
yes, Prabhu.
it was very clear to me when I read Prabhupada's book saying that, see, I can't be running on two tracks, right? It's impossible to run on two tracks. I can run to some extent, right? But at some point of time, I need to decide what I want in life, right? And
Yes,
that is very, very important. And see, which is why Krishna understands our concerns. See, we should understand Krishna is not impersonal, right? Krishna is so personal that even before we can express our thoughts, our concerns in this direction, Krishna is saying Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. Krishna is saying Sarvadanvan Pateja, Mamekam Shan, Ma Suchaha. He's saying, don't worry, I will take care of you. Krishna has already given the assurance.
yes, Prabhu, but that is
Without
the
we
point.
asking, even without
That
we
is
asking.
exactly the point that we do not depend on him and the assurance he gives.
Ah,
We feel no, my husband takes care, my children take care. I mean, like even while chanting, like you may be trying to hear each word very clearly, but suddenly you never know where my mind goes when you come back. Suddenly you don't know. I mean, you can't concentrate. It goes on and on.
no, that is
Yeah,
okay,
I
Mataji.
understand. I
But
exactly understand what it is. It's repeating
see, the
again and
mind.
again, again and again, again and again. You're repeating the same thing, but how much we can take in is is the
No, I am
question.
not repeating. Actually, Prabhupada
No,
is
no, I'm
saying.
repeating. Of course, Prabhu,
Prabhupada
you
is
are repeating
repeating.
what Prabhupada is
I
saying.
am just restating what Prabhupada
Yes,
is
sir.
saying.
Yes, Prabhu, you are
Right.
repeating what Prabhupada is saying. You are
Right.
representing Prabhupada there on
Right. Because see, when Prabhupada is saying one has to be fix his mind on Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. What else can I say? Right. I mean, he's so clearly without any. There's no mincing words there. Right.
Yes,
He's
sir.
clearly saying that one has to fix their mind on Krishna constantly. If Prabhupada had said, one has to fix their mind on Krishna whenever they get a chance, and if I am saying you have to do it constantly, then I am mincing words, right? But I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, Prabhupada is saying, fix your mind on Krishna constantly. I'm just saying, how do we do it, right? And which is what, for example, Maharaj is saying, because this same question keeps coming up again and again and again, right? And the answer is very simple. Don't be so hooked on, don't be so concerned about material life. Material life is in Krishna's hands. He will take care. See, I've seen one thing, Mataji. I mean, even so many centers that are running our temple itself, for example, right? I mean, Krishna will never, he will give as much as required, right? He will give as much as is required to make sure that everybody is comfortable with, even if there is expectation. For example, somebody wants to eat, paneer every day. He can arrange for that. It's not a big deal, right? But it just depends on whether we depend on him for it or not. So it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of faith, and Krishna wants us to depend on Him. That is why Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Just depend on Krishna. Krishna will take care. But Krishna didn't tell Arjuna saying that I'm going to take care. You go chill, relax. Right? He also said, do your duty. So we have to just replicate this mode in our life. Is do our duty, depend on Krishna. Leave the rest to Him. And focus on sadhana. Focus on Krishna. Focus on devotion. Then we will make progress. We can go to Him in one life. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you. Hare Krishna.
Sorry,
Dandavata.
Mataji. I mean,
No, no, I'm Prabhu, it's this,
just
it is
keep.
how you take it. The pill is there, the water is there, you have to take it.
Yeah.
Hare
Again,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
I want to add two things from your class only, Kenam, I will pick up.
Please, Prabhu.
One, Prabhupada has तेरा ऊपर से माइक बंद कर ऊपर स्पीकर बंद कर कौन है
I need that.
So Prabhupada said it. So I does not remember actually what was the question there, but Prabhupada reply I remember. Prabhupada said it does not make me difference where I am there for me that is Vrindavan because my always consciousness is attached to Krishna actually.
Yeah.
So our consciousness should be attached to Krishna. Whatever we are doing, okay, material required, whatever. Whenever that comes, then we are successful actually. Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
And second point which you said that the two-hand form of Krishna we should worship. I was the other day hearing a class of Bhanu Swami.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly said when Krishna saying Mamek Sharanbraja, he said to me, two-handed form. He does not say Rama, Krishna, Rama, Narsimha, any form.
Yeah.
He said to me. So, that is a Kanseva, that is a surrender to Krishna. Then only Mamek Sharanavajam is applicable. Actually. He clearly said that one actually. I was slightly, thoughts came, he's talking Rama, Narsimha, every but no. If two-handed form Krishna, then only Mamek Sharanavajam is there.
Yeah. So see, basically this, I don't know in what context Maharaj is saying that, but Krishna is telling his devotees, see, because in Chaitanya Leela, we should understand that there are devotees of, I mean, like there are Rama's devotees, etc., etc. Right now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu externally he makes this, with Murari Gupta and Vallabha, who's Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami's younger brother, right? So this pastime happens where, he's asked to worship Krishna. They're asked to those devotees who are devotees of Rama are asked to worship Krishna, and they say it's not possible. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, I know you're Hanuman, Murari Gupta. I was just like pulling your leg types, right? So when we say Ekam Sharanam Raja, right? Of course, if there are eternally some devotees who are devotees of other forms of Krishna, nobody can be forced to change their Ishtadeva, right? So, but Krishna, which is the point I made, saying that Prabhupada is Krishna's devotee. So he's saying one has to meditate on the eternal blackish form of Shamasundar, because he's the Krishna's devotee, right? So he wants everybody to become Krishna's devotee. That is why he's saying that. But in general, when he say innumerable forms, then he will say, yeah, Krishna, Rama, Narayana, Vishnu, etc. But I mean, I don't know if we can, I don't know again the context in which Manaswami Maharaj was saying that. But it is not that if Rama's devotee comes and surrenders to Rama, he's not following Bhagavad Gita. That
No.
won't be correct, right? So he's also surrendering to Rama only, who is non-different from Krishna.
He said ekanta seva, ekat seva. I mean, if you want to do only one seva, then that is the context of that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
Okay. I'll try
Hare
to find out and I'll try to send you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. There's nothing else we can conclude. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कोटि वैष्णव की जय, जगत गुरु प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
हरे
Pranam.
कृष्ण।